Hello, my name is Robert Jardine, and today I thought we would talk about education in the 21st century. And the start of the 21st century has seen some great innovation and technological development, but I think this has also changed the way in which we interact with the world and with society. This has repercussions for education and obviously will pose some new challenges in the classroom and to education as a whole, but I think it will also come with some new opportunities. There are also aspects of education which I think are timeless and should not be forgotten about because of new technology or new ways of seeing the world. And at the core of education is the curriculum, and I like to think of the curriculum as having two main branches: the skills and the content. In terms of skills, we have the subject-specific skills. For example, in English, we might teach students how to subordinate a clause and punctuate the sentence correctly. But there are also the cognitive and psychosocial skills, which span from creativity and critical thinking to empathy and identity. And I think these skills are going to become increasingly important in the age of AI. On the other hand, we have content, and here I think technology has changed the way in which we need to approach content, or the role of content in education. And this is due to the fact that we have more access to content than at any other point in human history. In the past, educational institutions could be seen as repositories of the skills and the content knowledge that would be passed on or would be gained by students at that institution. Now, students have constant access to any information they want at their fingertips. And so I think this has changed the way in which the educator needs to deal with content. So we are now no longer the holders of the content, but more the facilitator of how students interact with that content, how they use it, how they verify it, how they spot its objectivity. And I think this is an important change and something that education as a whole needs to be aware of. Content also needs to be relevant and expansive, and I think in terms of expansive, I mean by time and place. So in terms of time, technology can get students very stuck in the digital and immediate now. And I think there's an opportunity to show students, a broader timeline, break this bubble of the now. And so content needs to cover both the past, the present, and look forward to the future. Content should also broaden students' perspectives beyond their geographical location, beyond their interests, which students are still developing at that age. And it should also help to form bridges between the different subjects that they are studying. It needs to be interconnected with those subjects. Obviously, education is not only about the skills and the content, but it also is concerned with the delivery. And here we might talk about teaching strategies. I think this is an area in which, in recent decades, there has been a lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of studies, cognitive studies and educational studies that provide some new insights into how learning happens and as a result, how teaching should happen. And we need to be aware about things like cognitive load theory and how we chunk and scaffold the work to ensure students are not overwhelmed by the content and skills that they need to grasp. Coupled with this, I think very importantly, is retrieval practice. And this allows students to shift working memory into the long-term memory. I think this is very important because in order to gain greater levels of complexity and move forward in a subject, some of those skills which can be held within the working memory as we are learning about them need to be transferred to the long-term memory in order to build on those skills and to build on that content. So we need to find ways to apply retrieval practice in varied and consistent ways. Obviously, the aim is always that students reach the target skill or the content knowledge, and I think cognitive load theory and its implications can help us ensure that students are not being overwhelmed by lessons, but rather are reaching the target. So for the elephant in the room, I think we need to talk about AI. AI is something new. It's new to all of us. And I think we're all aware of its possible potential. It is a powerful tool, a powerful technology, but I think we are not quite aware of its direction yet and how we can apply it in education and in the classroom. So I think both students and teachers are still coming to terms with what AI is and how to use it in education. So teachers need to have a strong framework that students are aware of and that students understand in terms of the rules of how we want them to use it and the usage principles. Beyond that, I think it is important that teachers also help students understand the role of AI in education, but more broadly in society and in the world. It's not just important that students understand that plagiarism, which is an issue with AI, is unacceptable in education and academia, but I think it's important that we help students understand AI's role in society and politics and how we need to be critically thinking about the things that we view, the things that we read, in order to ensure that we are aware of what is real and what's not. So this brings me to, I think, what I think the purpose of what I'm trying to say here is that I think the skills and the content that form the core of the curriculum are still important. What we had in the 20th century can still have relevance today. There are a few aspects to this I think we need to be discussed, and that is the usefulness of AI to us is proportional to our knowledge and our ability to apply skills. AI can only help us to the extent that we can understand what it is helping us, what it is saying to us. In order to achieve that, we need strong content knowledge about whatever subject we might be asking AI about. And then obviously we need the skills of verifying the facts and understanding, applying our critical thinking to ensure that what AI is providing is useful. I also think that as AI becomes more prevalent in the workplace and in society as a whole, and automates maybe some of the daily tasks that we used to have to do as humans, that some of those cognitive and psychosocial skills will become more important. Creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, these are things that AI cannot do. AI does not think, it aggregates and it gives a kind of an average of all that it has consumed. And it also has no understanding of the human experience. And so I think these are going to be the areas which education can be focused on, as it has in the past been focused on, and help our students be prepared for the future that is before them by ensuring that they have the skills and the content knowledge that will enable them to be valuable in the age of AI. So those are a few of my thoughts about AI and technology and education. Thank you for listening.